Hey, what's up? This is Equis, and thank you for listening to the GameXPresents podcast. Make sure to follow GameXPresents on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. But for now, please enjoy the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of GameXPresents, the podcast. This is episode number 16, and speaking is yours truly, Equis.
Hello, everyone. This is Stuff.
This is Victorino.
And we're back once again, back in your earphones or Beats by Dre headphones.
No, that.
Your car audio.
This is, however, a special episode, right?
Yep, this episode where we're gonna do a little celebration, kind of, I guess. Is there a celebration? Do you celebrate Halloween?
I don't see drinks. I don't see anything on this table, so I'm guessing it's not that special.
But is Halloween a celebration? Should you say Happy Halloween?
Merry Halloween?
Merry Halloween?
I don't know.
Or have a spooky Halloween?
Yeah, again.
Or hey, hope you die Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of weird. It's one of those weird, I
think that the PC way is Happy Halloween.
Yeah, because you want people to have fun trick or treating and stuff.
Correct.
But at the same
safely.
time, you want to see gore.
And women dressed very
provocative
ways.
Yes.
Yes, that's the whole thing of Halloween. If you're not,
let's face it, for grown-ups, that's what it's all about.
That's the only reason.
We don't get candy.
Yeah, we don't care about candy, but
we can buy our own candy. Okay, if I want candy, I'm gonna go to Walgreens and buy a big bag.
But you won't get free candy.
But what we want is like almost kind of like a free strip club entrance.
Sure.
So they should give you a lap dance.
Is that a treat?
I guess that's a treat. Unless it's not really a woman and that's the trick. But anyways, we have a, I guess, kind of special episode where where
we say Happy Halloween. All right, guys. See you on episode 17.
Okay, but before we get into the main event of the podcast, I guess just a couple of things we would like to discuss. Just because the last couple of podcasts we've been talking about Grand Theft Auto.
It's because that's what we do. We discuss things.
Grand Theft Auto has been with us for the last
month,
5 episodes. So
it's kind of weird. Like I started with Grand Theft Auto thinking I'm not going to play it much. Then I started playing it a lot. Then I couldn't stop playing. And now I'm back to, I'm so sick and tired of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, but you're not playing it anymore?
No, I haven't. I don't know. I just didn't care that much for the online part. Maybe when more of my friends have finished the story and they start playing online, maybe I'll get into it again.
Yeah, we'll do it. So it's good for you to get the little a
break.
Get off of that game.
Yeah.
And then so you can actually enjoy the online. But I guess just to finalize the whole Grand Theft Auto thing, I think there's kind of like a pointless thing going on. Whereas like the Grand Theft Auto 5, there's a petition that's being signed. They've gotten like 600,000 signatures. I'm pretty sure they have more than that. All because they want Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PC, which I think it's going to get there eventually. Like,
okay, what Grand Theft Auto game has not been brought to the PC?
Exactly. It's just a matter of time,
And like what makes them think it's not going to happen? Like that you need a petition for this. It's always happened. They make Grand Theft Auto for consoles, then the PC comes out later.
And what do you think is that the purpose of that? Why they do that? They delay.
So they want to get bootleg.
I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of reasons. I mean, don't they usually add more things to the PC? Don't they like make the graphics better or something?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it would but like knowing that the graphics are gonna get better, like that's kind of like. I mean, I can imagine the graphics getting better. Even though, like, when you compare Grand Theft Auto 4 to Grand Theft Auto 5, it's like, oh, this is a big improvement. But, like, do you think they're going to include Grand Theft Auto 5 for the new generation of consoles?
You know what? I don't know.
Would it be smart for them to do it?
It would be smart because, a lot of people are just going to buy it over again.
Exactly.
So, and I do believe that is part of the reason why the PC gets delayed, because they can, they generate a lot of media attention right now with the consoles. They wait for that to die down, then they release the PC, and it generates a whole bunch of media again. And then later, they'll release the new consoles, and they'll release a Grand Theft Auto 5 for those, and it'll generate a whole bunch of new media. So to me, in a way, it's probably a way of just keeping people talking about it.
Yeah, and I think that also like the PC might take a little bit longer to do, especially if they want to include a bunch of like other stuff on it. But yeah, so that's that. Hopefully, we can leave Grand Theft Auto 5 to rest for at least a little bit until we play the online.
At least 2 weeks.
At least 2 weeks. But also like a couple of things. I guess celebration. It's not. I don't know how to. I don't know even how to say it because it's not a celebration. But just like I would like the condolences because I've been a big fan of The Simpsons.
Okay.
But the voice actress that played Miss Krabappel, her name is Marcia Wallace. She died, and kind of like one of those things that you really like. We've talked about voice acting in like video games, but also like in cartoons and animations and stuff like that. A lot of times these people like don't get the recognition.
Yeah, you mentioned that name. People are like, who?
Yeah, who's Marcia Wallace?
But you could say the name of the person who does Homer, and they'll be like, who?
Yeah, but if you say the voice actor of Homer or the voice actor of Miss Krabappel, like people are like, oh, I know who Miss Krabappel is, but I don't know who the other person is. So it's like how much like we really do appreciate, we don't appreciate like the people who do the voice acting for the shows that we do love. That's we lost Miss Krabappel. Kind of a weird segment. Transition from Grand Theft Auto to
that happens because you lose a lot of people in Grand Theft Auto. But no, I think that especially for this generation, I think we all kind of grew up watching The Simpsons.
Exactly, because it was like a yeah. How many seasons is it?
I don't know exactly how many, but it's been a lot. And for sounds kind of funny to say it, but it has been our life coach. Like so many times we're like, well, The Simpsons or this, The Simpsons did this, and this is how they handle it in The Simpsons.
Yeah, like remember The Simpsons, like whenever we find ourselves in a situation like, oh yeah, remember The Simpsons when this happened, and we now
for just about anything that could come up in life, there's remember when in The Simpsons moment.
So you can either decide like, well, did it turn out good or bad? Maybe we shouldn't try that. But yeah, yes, condolences to Miss Krabappel. It's funny not to name Miss Krabappel because Marcia Wallace. Also, and I know this is kind of like I don't know if it's like an issue, but like I know when I did buy Grand Theft Auto the trilogy, which was included City, Vice City, and San Andreas, the original ones that came out for the PlayStation 2. I got it for the Mac for some reason. And so I did like have to connect. I couldn't find a controller to play those games on my Mac. So what I did have to do was connect the PlayStation 3 controller to my Mac, and it worked out. Like I heard like people saying that, if you do that, then you won't be able to use it for the PlayStation 3 because they'll like do something, it'll break it or something or whatever. But I guess people are saying that the PlayStation 4 controller will also work for the Mac. How do you feel about that?
I used to never play with controllers like PC gaming. I've never done any Mac gaming, but gaming on computers. Just now that I started getting into Steam,
okay,
I went ahead and I bought myself a Xbox controller, wired Xbox controller. Yeah. I absolutely love the type of support that PC games have with that controller. Like, I thought that I was gonna have to just go through the before it used to be you would buy a controller that was like USB wireless or whatever, and then you had to map each game. You had to map each button to do whatever. And that's what I kind of expected. And then with the Xbox controller, it was amazing. Like the games actually even give you the little graphic of the button that you have to play. So that was very nice. So if the Mac can get something going on with the PS4 controller, where it's just as universal, that would be cool.
Yeah, because like especially with Mac, like I when I bought that game, I was like, cool, like I can play this game. I was trying to play with the keyboard, and it's cool, but sometimes I just wanted to play with the controller because I was more used to it. But I could not find one for the Mac. Like it would always be like only for Windows, and the ones that did say, oh, it's for Windows and Mac, for some reasons it started working for the Mac, but then all of a sudden it stopped responding for some reason. So I would have to like return it. So like I just like went online and like, what can I use for to play Mac, play Mac games? And somebody said use a PlayStation 3 controller, so I tried it and it worked out pretty good. But I know like now maybe there's more people making controllers for Mac because probably Mac is making more games, like being more compatible.
Yeah, they're
especially in Steam. Is there like a Mac section?
Yeah, there is a Mac section. It's not as big as the PC section, but it's definitely getting bigger. I mean, I remember a few years ago, if somebody told me should I get a Mac, well, my first questions was like, well, do you even care about gaming? So if you do, then don't. But no, it's getting to the point where you can definitely do quite a bit of gaming on the Mac. But then with Steam, you even have like a Linux version. So,
and there was a Steam control, like an actual control through Steam. Was that the like a controller?
I don't know. I thought I heard something about them wanting to make a controller, but I'm not sure if they did, because on the PC at least, it seems to be the official, like the Microsoft controller, Xbox 360 controller seems to be like the official PC controllers.
Yeah, because I was wondering if Steam was to make a controller for their thing, if it was going to be compatible with Mac.
I probably did see a controller, but it was probably like a prototype for that Steam box that they were talking
something
about.
Like that. That's kind of got. I don't remember too much of the details on that. I was wondering if that was going to be like compatible with Mac also, because obviously if you want to play games, then you most likely go to Windows anyways.
Plus, just the fact that now in a Mac you can easily install Windows. So even if you get a Mac, with ever since they started using the Intel chips, it's been very easy to just run Windows on them. So even if you're into gaming, Macs, as much as I dislike Apple, Macs tend to be very high quality computers. Overpriced maybe, but you do get quite a bit for what you pay for. So they are a great choice.
Yep. Okay, and you want to include anything, Victorino?
About the GTA 5
spam
downloads from torrents.
The spam, well, this kind of dumb, anyways.
Yeah.
Like, why would you try to download a file that's Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PC when you know they haven't made it?
People are desperate for a PC version.
I don't get it. Like,
I don't know what kind of person does that. You're into gaming enough to
you should know
what
exactly.
GTA 5 is. You should kind of know that it's not available on the PC. So anyway, the story is that some people have been downloading GTA 5 for the PC, but there's no such thing as GTA 5 for the PC, so they're just getting viruses or what.
I would think it's just like, I would like to think that it's like desperate, like teenage kid boy, like, oh, Grand Theft Auto,
maybe pre-teenagers or something. I don't know.
12-year-olds trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna play this game. I'll show my mom or I'll show my dad.
Unless they're saying it's a leak, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, but at the same time, like, why would you even do that?
Yeah. But anyway, if you see Grand Theft Auto 5 out there for the PC, stay away.
Yeah, stay away.
Unless we take a really long time to release this podcast.
No, we won't.
We won't. Okay, good.
It will be done by Halloween. this will be your treat. Okay, so I guess we can go to the main event of
We
our
can start.
we can actually start the actual show. I guess kind of like in the honor or in the what do they usually say in the honor of Halloween or whatever. We'll
Spirit of
in the spirit. There
season.
you go. Yeah, there you go. In the spirit of Halloween or Dia de los Muertos.
De los Muertos.
De los Muertos.
De los Muertos.
Yeah, de los Muertos, way. We're gonna talk about. Should we talk about the spooky moments first, or kind of like?
All right. So we wanted to try and make a list of the most spooky moments in video games that we can remember. Now I'll start off by saying I'm sure there's a lot of moments that we did not remember. So we just made a list of the ones that we did remember. And also when I say spooky moment, I was trying to not put anything that was like a hard fight, because you tend to fear those hard fights just because they're difficult. I was trying to go for those moments that really make you go like, ooh, I wonder what's gonna, or
Yeah, I mean, and even that, like,
and we're not even gonna try to make it a top any number.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk.
We're just gonna talk.
Yeah, because at the same time, you have to remember that, like, when you're a kid, things are spookier than what they really are. Like, you can like think of a spooky moment and then like play it as a grown up and be like, man, I was scared of this. Like, why was I scared of this? Like, for example, one of my like spooky moments was the Ocarina of Time, where you have to go enter like a well, like at the bottom of a well, and like enter like a shadow kind of little temple, like a little shadow dungeon, and it's like bunch of like tricks and bunch of monsters. Even when you're like a grown up Link, you're in a shadow temple. And when I played this, when it first came out, I was scared of going in there. But like now, I played it recently for the 3DS, and it's like, oh, it's just nothing. It's just like another level. But when I was a kid, that was like kind of like a spooky moment for me.
Back then, I was actually older than you. Not anymore, but back then I was. So when I played
the same age.
When I played Ocarina of Time, I didn't find anything spooky. So you were telling me about this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? There was nothing spooky there. But hey, if it was spooky for you, it counts.
Yeah, so I don't know. I forget what year it came out. So at that time, it was kind of like spooky for me. Like, I didn't want to go. Like, it's not like I was like terrified. I just didn't want to do it because I was like kind of like, it's just like, okay, if there any way I can avoid going down there? But no, there was no way around it. I had to own up, just go down to the bottom of the well and finish it. Victorino?
I couldn't get to the Hyrule Field at night without those skeleton kids coming out.
Yeah, that was kind of spooky because those poles come out. The
skeletons.
No,
and the skeletons. What were there, wolves?
No, there were no wolves.
Just skeletons. They would come out.
Yeah, skeletons.
You'd be trying to ride Epona around, and skeletons
and
would
then
come out.
that pole that you had to.
I think the pole was when you were an adult.
Yeah, but still, you in the middle of Hyrule Field in the middle of the night. It was kind of spooky, I guess.
Yeah.
Like any dungeon in Zelda was spooky to me, especially once they made the jump to 3D. It was like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, but I did like that water temple though. That wasn't scary at all.
I mean, that was just difficult.
No, and Saddle Link.
Oh yeah, that was kind of cool.
That was a spooky but cool moment.
Yeah,
because you were looking at the saddle, and when you went to that island, your saddle wasn't there anymore, and when you look back, it was right there.
Yeah. And how about you, Stuff?
One of the games that I never played that many spooky games. So one of the spooky games that I used to play was Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the moments that I think any fan of Resident Evil remembers is, and we're not getting to that one yet. But one of the moments that I do believe every Resident Evil fan remembers is on Resident Evil 1, that first zombie that you encounter. there's
Yeah.
you go into that corridor.
Yeah.
There's somebody bending over somebody else. Then you get close to them, and then you get that face of the zombie just looking at you.
Oh, yeah. And in that game, especially because like the control was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So like at the beginning you're practicing and everything, and you seem like you think you got it. You think you got the controls, but when that happens, you start losing control. And you didn't even know what to do.
Every time a zombie would show up out of nowhere, it's like you would completely forget how to play. It's like you had never played this game ever before, and you just start walking towards the wall.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, exactly, and like you know how to move around when everything is nice. You're moving like a champ. You're like, oh yeah, I got this, and then the zombie comes out. You're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Just press start.
Like, yeah, I got this. I'm the master of unlocking.
Like I remember, I forgot which. I forgot. I think it was Resident Evil, and like I couldn't pause the game, like cause I got so like scared or whatever that I wanted to pause it to kind of catch my breath, but I couldn't pause it, and I ended up getting killed. I guess that was like a new feature they had included. Like, so like whenever you were in the heat of the moment, it didn't allow you to pause. I just like hidden in like a corner.
Like you always do.
Yeah, when I play Pokemon and stuff.
Resident Evil just had a lot of things like that. Like, I'm sure any Resident Evil fan also remembers those damn crows that would just come out of nowhere. I hated those.
Did they ever make a remake of the original, or even
I think they did. I don't remember for what system, but they did. I think it was for the Wii or the GameCube.
Oh yeah, I think for the GameCube. Yeah,
one of those.
Yeah, I think they did. I didn't play that one.
All right, you got another one there?
I guess also in terms of it's like when the first encounter with Pyramid Head. Well, to me, because when I played it, I was younger than maybe you. So like when I first encountered, like Silent Hill was like this was Silent Hill 2 that was the first one that I played. It was just kind of like creepy, just walking through the fog and everything. You didn't know what was gonna pop out, and everything was like so silent. I guess that's what it's called, Silent Hill. But you start like messing with these creatures or whatever, these headless creatures or whatever, and those were like fine because you couldn't avoid those. But when I first encountered Pyramid Head, I was like, oh crap! Like I didn't know what to do. And I think the first encounter Pyramid Head was actually like having with one of the.
No, they were just playing, dude. They weren't.
Oh, they're roughhousing.
Yeah, they were brothers, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I was like, man, that's weird. I was kind of
I think Pyramid Head is creepy, no matter what age you are, no matter how old you are.
It's just something you just want to avoid. Like,
well, you don't expect to go into a room and see this big, huge guy with a weird pyramid head that happens to be made of metal that you can't punch or do anything to.
Feels like freaky. Like, what the heck is this?
Speaking of Silent Hill, that's another one for me was those stupid weird nurses.
Oh yeah,
they're like all white and no face, and
they're spazzing out.
Yeah, those were always.
Yeah.
Whenever I see them, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, you just want to avoid those at any cost.
Even in the movies, I think in the movies I'm more afraid of those than I am of Pyramid Head. Because Pyramid Head is just one guy. The movie is always like bunch.
Yeah, and like it also like I guess the first experience of me getting like kind of like scared was I forget what, I think it was Mario 3, I believe, with the bulls. The ghosts, when you look at them, they freeze, but when you turn around, they start going towards you.
Those just make me panic, just because I realize that, oh crap, like there's a whole bunch of them coming. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this one. And then you have some coming from the left, another one
from the right,
so you're like, ah.
Yeah, so
doesn't matter what I do, one of them is gonna come.
I died a lot in those haunted.
But overall,
levels.
I hate the haunted houses because I just hate those levels. They're so annoying.
Because it's like they always trick you with the doors.
Yeah.
Like fake doors, and you.
That's what I hate. Like, I just want to get out, and then there's the music which doesn't help it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like one of those. That's one of those. Even like now, it's more of annoyance. Like right now,
it is more of an annoyance.
But like when I was a kid, when I first played it, it was actually like fright. Like, oh, I hate this ghost. But yeah, like now as I played as an adult, I'm like, man, this is just annoying. Like it's not even scary; it's just annoying. How about you, Vic? Did you have any experience with because they did have bulls in Mario 64, right?
Yes, they do.
But it wasn't as bad.
No, it wasn't that bad because you can actually backflip behind.
3D.
Yeah, you can just do a backflip behind them. Yeah, you just kick them in the ass.
And that's you could actually kill the bulls in oh no, you can't say kill in Nintendo. You gotta say defeat or.
How do you kill a ghost?
You kick it in the ass.
Hey, Bart.
Ghostbusters, you were doing it wrong.
You should have just kicked them in their ass.
Another moment that I remember. I don't know if I would say it was scary, but it was definitely annoying. It was a little bit scary. It's one of those that give you a little bit of claustrophobia or something.
Oh, okay.
The game Max Payne 3. There's this part where he's like in a nightmare, and in my opinion, they did a really good job at making it feel like a nightmare because he was like trying to run, but he was still going slow. You ever had those nightmares where you're like trying to run and you're really going slow, and then you're inside your house, which you're very familiar with by this time in the game, but you start going down this corridor. And it's like the thing just keeps getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
And you're just going slow. And then in the background, you can hear your wife screaming for help. And you can hear your baby crying. And I'm like, this really is like a nightmare.
Yeah, like kind of something similar that happened with in Metal Gear Solid Snake Eaters. Sometimes they do a real good job with those kinds of things. They're not, like you said, it's not really like scary, but it's just one of those things that's like really gets to you. Like it gets to your head because you can like really relate to it. Like in this case, in Snake Eater, it's Big Boss, right? Eater.
Yeah, you play as Big Boss.
I forget how he gets there, but it's like in the river, and he's being like dragged down by the ghost of all the people that he's killed, and it really makes you think like. A lot of times that the people that do go through those things, that, I can only imagine like, because in Max Payne, the whole, story with him and, what he had to go through, like a lot of people that who in real life who've gone through those things, just makes you think like what weird dreams they have, like kind of like, when you're like real sick, like you got the flu and you get like fevers, and you just get these weird ass dreams. Like, have you ever had that where like you're dreaming, but then you wake up, but in reality you're still dreaming?
Oh yeah.
It's just like weird. Like I hate being sick just because of the dreams. It's just like weird.
To get a lot of the I forget what they're called again, but that nightmare where not really a nightmare, but you kind of wake up and you can see your room and everything, but can't move your body at all.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's just so weird, like that. Yeah, when you're sick, and also it's kind of like not really scary, but like in Metal Gear Solid 2, like because you don't really know what's going on at that moment when the Colonel Campbell all of a sudden just like
goes crazy,
like starts saying random stuff, and it's not really like scary, but you're just like uncomfortable, like what's going on, like. Is my game messed up? Because it actually tells you in one of the communications, like, oh, please turn off your console, and you're like, and then all of a sudden you get like a game over sign, and it stays there for like a couple of seconds. So
but you're still playing it.
Yeah, but you're still playing like in a little box, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Like, should I turn off, reset my computer? Like, I never like resetted it, but I know like a lot of people who actually like did do it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like a funny little thing that they added in that game.
And it reminded me of X-Men when you went
also,
X-Men. What level was that?
It was it was X-Men for the Sega, and in one of the levels with Mojo.
Yeah, Mojo.
That was his name. It's funny his name is Mojo, but like in one of the levels at the end, it just tells you to reset the computer, and you're like, what do they mean by reset the computer? Like we could not get it.
And that was before the internet. So.
Yeah, so do you remember how we just like reset it, right? Because we're like, okay, this game is messed up, so we just put reset.
Yeah, you just
all of a sudden you get like a matrix code, and it's kind of interesting how they did that. It was a very creative way for them to add that. I don't know, it was pretty creative, so I give them props for that. Yeah. Who published that, but they get props for that little.
Props have been given.
They got the GameX props of approval.
Props of approval.
Whatever that means. Well, you any particular spooky moments, Victorino?
For me, will be the Fallout 3, the entire scenery of that game.
Like when you first encounter it, you're like, "What the hell's going on?"
No, when you first get out the vault and you see the landscape by nuclear holocaust.
It's like just the whole game freaked me out, man.
Yeah, it did. It's only the mutants.
Yeah, like just the fact that you're walking around and you don't know what's gonna pop out. Like,
yeah.
All of a sudden, like something from behind comes and gets you, like a mutant or the deformed wolf with a turtle.
Speaking of not knowing what's gonna happen, going back to Resident Evil, the opening doors while loading.
Yeah.
Every time you saw those doors, you're like, oh, I don't know if the next room is gonna have like 10 zombies on it, or if it's just gonna be empty, or if those damn dogs are gonna come.
Yeah, I think that was I'm guessing that's how they did the loading or whatever.
Yeah,
it's an interesting way how because it was a good effect on the game.
Most of us were playing like at night. It's a scary game. You're not gonna play. Well, you probably did, but most of us wouldn't play during the day. So you're like sitting there in the night in your room, and it's quiet, and you see the door open, and like I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, and I did play in the mornings. I didn't play that at night.
That's okay.
Like
I still respect you a little bit.
I didn't really I never really played like spooky games, but when I did, played them in the morning with my grandma sitting right next to me.
Those Equis.
No, and actually it was kind of funny because that's
why you're just Equis, not Dos Equis.
Yeah, and no, but it's interesting because I guess one of my one of the spooky moments it was when I used to play what's that game called? Metroid Prime. When I got the GameCube, and I kind of got like scared a little bit. Well, not really scared, but like like surprised when the ghosts came out. And but the thing that got me through that game was that actually my grandmother's actually sat down with me through that game. Like she seemed to be interested in it. Like I guess she liked it or whatever for some reason. So she would actually like get herself her food and sit next to me and watch me play. Maybe I did beg her to.
She just felt bad for you, dude.
Maybe I did beg her to sit. Maybe my memory is not fully, complete, but maybe I did beg her.
Why am I sitting here?
I did beg her to sit next to me to play that game. And that's the only reason I was able to beat that game, because she was right next to me when I played it.
Well, after you get the X-ray vision, that fight was easier.
Yeah, I guess, but still, you still don't want to face them. You still don't want them to pop out, because you don't know when they're going to pop out.
Or you just go through the room and go to the door right away.
Yeah, it's just like, don't even engage them yet. But the thing is that the lights turn off, so it got like dark. So you got like eventually you knew where the door was, so you can just like run towards the door.
You're like, ain't gonna fight you.
Yeah, but eventually once you get all the weapons, they're easy to kill or whatever. But it's just like the first encounters.
It's always that first one.
Yeah, the first encounters, like the first 20.
And yet again, you defeated a ghost. Ghosts
ghosts are easy to. Yeah, ghosts are punks.
And speaking of grandma, a game she probably played on the PS1 was the game D. It's the letter D. And I added this game to the list, not for any specific moment, just for the whole damn game.
Also, so are you saying in the podcast that you like the D?
I played the game D, and
he loves the D.
and back then, really, I should just add any game from the first CD games, because they were always done so crappy that they were kind of scary. Like on D, for example, it was always very quiet, and it was supposed to be this mystery or whatever, but it's so quiet that it just makes everything spooky. Like, being quiet just makes everything spooky.
Yeah,
just like little girl ghosts are always spooky. I don't care. Or little girls trying to kill you, that's always spooky. Like, you can have a whole army after me. It's not gonna be as scary as one little girl.
Yeah, in like a dress and
going like, "Hey, you want to play?"
I know.
Like,
what is it so creepy about like a little girl? Just like if a little girl just like stood there, I'll be
with black
out.
eyes.
Yeah, just creep me out. Like, why? What's so creepy about a little girl?
I don't know, man. Like, they're supposed to be sweet, but when you put black eyes on them, or
especially when they start talking
take
about
away their souls, they just become spooky.
Especially when they start talking about imaginary friends, like me and my friend here next to me want to play with. Oh man,
now I'm gonna have nightmares.
Like it just reminds me of The Shining. The Shining. Yeah, because that's from the Simpsons rip-off of The Shining. But yeah, like The Shining, where you had those, I think it was twins, the twin little girls or whatever. That was, and then they interviewed them when they were older, and they're like, "Yeah, we're kind of creeped out by that too."
We don't want to see that.
But yeah.
What's the one? Oh, do you have another one?
No. Oh yeah, the other one that was kind of, well, no, I think this will go with the other one.
I was gonna say that the one moment that I think just about any gamer is probably familiar with, it goes back to Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil, which is that moment you go into that corridor.
Yeah.
These damn dogs show up.
The dog.
They jump through the window, like everything is quiet. You go through that loading screen, and you show up in this corridor, and you're like, oh, good, there's nothing here. You start walking, running away.
Nothing.
And then all of a sudden, and these ducks show up, and you once again forget how to play the damn game. And you walk, either go in circles or just walk straight into a wall.
Yeah. Like, that's that. I think that when I don't know, I think that was one of the points where I would just like drop the control and just go in my corner. Like,
back to the corner I go.
And just let the guy die.
I'll have my pupusas over there.
But yeah, it's just like those. Like I watched the video before, this podcast, and I kind of jumped again. Like, I knew it was coming, but I was like, oh, okay.
I know exactly when it was coming, but it still scares me.
Yeah.
However, I think we can all agree that the one true moment of video gaming where every gamer has had complete fear is that moment when you've had like a power outage and you didn't get to save.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't know what happened.
Or that moment when you go to load the game and it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Like, well, where's my save? I saved. Where is it?
Especially in the era of memory cards. like so memory cards were so unreliable. Like sometimes,
they were.
It would just fail on you with no reason. Like it was like you just bought in. Like, data has been corrupted.
That was like true
horror
for any gamer.
Yeah.
Now we are almost running out of time, but while we're trying to create a list of the games that game moments that were more that were scariest to us. We came out with a list of hated characters because there were a lot of moments that they weren't exactly scary, but we still hated them.
Yeah.
So we decided, hey, why the heck not? Let's throw in some of our most hated characters.
Yeah, characters that we like to see dead.
So obviously, Pyramid Guy or Pyramid Head Guy is in there.
Yeah, I don't mind if he goes to hell.
Well, I think I believe he was in hell.
Yeah.
The Silent Hill nurses, they're in there.
Stupid dogs.
Stupid dogs, they're definitely in there. Also from Resident Evil 3 is the red zombies. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but yeah, those are assholes.
With a long tongue and always going after you. I hated those. Because they always took a whole bunch of bullets, so every time I saw them, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and also...
they always get to me before I kill them.
Get them, yeah. Also, I guess in Resident Evil, that the Nemesis. That punk.
Who could forget Nemesis?
Hated Nemesis. And what else? It's the hand from Zelda. Especially when Zelda got 3D, they really like, especially at the beginning, you see this shadow, and all of a sudden it grabs you, and you kind of like, oh, I hate being in this part of the map that has the stupid hand because you have to move fast. You have to do everything so fast, or else the hand was gonna get you. So I hated the hand. And also, like I mentioned,
what about the hand in Star Fox 64?
You think that's a different hand, right?
Yeah, that was just a boss.
Yeah, Android.
Yeah, but it's probably like the mom of all the other hands or something, or the dad or the uncle.
The hand from
the grandpa of all the one
distant relative.
The one that you fight at the end of Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, so then it's the kind of like a relative of the hand from Zelda.
It's probably Miyamoto's hand.
Miyamoto's hand, and also the damn berserker from Gears of War. Especially at the beginning, you had to kill it through the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, Hammer.
But like you had to like aim for like 5 seconds or whatever before, or the thing would charge you, bum rush you or whatever.
There was this kind of an oldie. I bring the oldies.
Yeah, I like the oldies.
There was this one. I don't know if any of you remember, but there was this one character in Doom 3. Which was like a alien dog. I say it was like an alien dog. It was like half dog, half robot.
Yeah.
And his name was Pinky. Hated that guy.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that, but he sounds like a douche.
Yeah, he was. Because you kept shooting at him, and then he would like disappear, and you're like, oh, I killed him. But no, he would just show up again.
In a different part of the level, or
in a different part of the map
area,
but you same fight, you still have to continue trying to kill him. You just have to kill him a bunch of times before he actually dies, I guess.
Oh, okay. And that was Doom 3?
Doom 3, yeah.
And also, I hated when, especially Metroid Prime, because, Metroid Prime is when everything went to 3D for Metroid. I hated when you first encounter the Metroids, because, those bloodsuckers wouldn't let go of you.
You had to go through the ball.
You had to go to the ball and explode, but still, like, it was like a bunch of them, bunch of little cucarachas, cockroaches.
And you know what enemy I hate? Mutants.
Oh, the mutants from Fallout, of course.
And I
you were talking about the turtles.
Okay, yeah, I love the turtles. And I was thinking about another enemy, but I don't think they're enemies.
Bowser.
The law enforcement from the GTA series.
Well, I mean,
they're always trying to stop you.
I know, like you. I flicked one of the officers off in the game, and then he started shooting me.
Hey, freedom of speech.
No, and the other one, there was like I had just like because for some reason I surrendered to the cops. I was in front of the police station, and there was this like girl walking by, so I pressed the right button. And you kind of like go like, "Hey, baby," or something like that. And then like if you keep doing it, eventually he'll call her a bitch or something like that. And then the cop started shooting me.
You did call her a bitch.
Hey, but why did the cop shoot me?
I think you deserve to die.
Freedom of speech.
Just like you deserve to die for the fact that we couldn't go 2 weeks without coming back to GTA 5.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but GTA 5 is
revolutionary.
Yeah, it's $1 billion.
I'll forgive you guys because I
money.
know you're still playing it, so it's okay. I understand what I'm saying.
So we still on the drugs.
Well, you're late, but whatever. You know.
Oh, and another enemy?
Oh, and the gameplay is gonna be
The
even more
Koopas.
late. No, those are just
Hey, those are
dumbasses.
No, the Koopas are kind of cute though.
Koopas?
Koopas, yeah, turtles.
They're stupid.
Yeah, they're still kind of cute. You've seen them on how they dance on.
Oh
Wii
yeah,
U.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
those are
cute.
cute. The ones from the regular Nintendo, those are the ugly childs. Then.
Yeah, well, screw them.
And how
They
about
didn't do any dancing.
how about what the brown one called? The
Koopas? They can go to
Goomba?
hell.
Yeah, those are useless.
And you saw the death battle between them two?
They just remind me of like little pieces of
poop.
like Tootsie Rolls.
Little turds. But yeah. So, but I guess in a spirit of Halloween, what do you like more, or what do you feel is spookier? Resident Evil?
There were two more hated characters that I wanted to mention. First, there was a big. I don't know the name of most of these, but in The Last of Us, there were these big zombies.
Oh yeah.
And they weren't zombies, but that's what I call them. Those I hated those guys. Now, just like the one you were talking about earlier, where once you got the right equipment, it was a lot easier to kill them.
Yeah.
It was the same over here, but that first fight with one of those things, it just took me forever.
Yeah, especially because you don't have the things necessary to fight them off.
And finally, one of the characters, I think I've mentioned here before that I was a big Mortal Kombat fan. But one of the characters that I hated the most, Goro.
Nah, that punk. Yeah.
I think I hated Goro more than Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn.
Yeah. Yeah, Shao Kahn, the one with the mask. Yeah, yeah, that Goro. He would, especially when he would do that stomping thing.
Oh, I hated that.
I hated that, like, because there was no way to block it. Well, I didn't feel like there was a way to block it. Just try to time it and move out of the way right when he was coming down from the screen or whatever.
Yeah, but so many times you were in the middle of the jump and he would still get you.
Yeah, man. I hated that.
But going back to your question, what is the best
horror franchise,
terror franchise, Resident Evil or Silent Hill?
And
now, we can definitely agree that Resident Evil has done a lot better than Silent Hill.
Yeah.
As far as money.
Correct.
I personally, I was much more of a Resident Evil fan. But I will gladly admit that to me, Silent Hill was a much darker game. Silent Hill was just plain weird.
Yeah, like in Resident Evil, you kind of expected, you kind of know what to expect, but in Silent Hill, you didn't really expect like anything. Like anything can come out at any time. It could be like a weird
dog, human, pig combination or something.
A nurse. It could be a Mexican construction worker,
Mexican lawyer,
and it's just like anything could come out at any time, and it was like you just had to accept it. Especially like the little messages that you would read like on the walls. Like if you really like paid attention to like all the details, there was a lot of freaky stuff going on there.
Definitely
pentagrams and all.
I will agree that Silent Hill was the much darker games, and even the movies. I've enjoyed the Resident Evil movies a lot more than I enjoy Silent Hill movies, but I think they could have done a lot better with the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah.
Not that they did bad, but I think they could have done better.
Yeah, but yeah, I would definitely say that Silent Hill. If like somebody told me to play a game, I'll probably play Resident Evil just because I feel it's less.
I mean, to me, I feel like Resident Evil was just a much better, much better made game. Silent Hill, it was like a much better idea.
Yeah. That analysis. Insightful analysis.
Oh, thank you, sir.
What'd you, Vic? Torino?
Oh,
Silent Hill or Resident Evil or other?
I haven't played both, so
He's gonna say GTA.
no, I ain't gonna say
GTA
that.
5,
Hey.
definitely the scariest.
Did you play Red Dead Redemption?
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion, that scary game. Scary.
What did you say?
It's on Red Dead.
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, Luigi's Mansion. The zombie.
No, I haven't.
The
No.
zombie DLC. You never played that one?
No, because I had to buy that.
Oh, you never had it? I thought you had it.
Oh, I don't.
Okay. Well, you suck then.
I can't say not either because I haven't played both. But I
You
have
know,
to choose.
it's sad that we just did the whole Halloween episode, and I'm gonna mention it now, but not once did we mention Zombie U.
Zombie U.
But
I mean, it was an interesting game while we played it, while it lasted.
Yeah, but at no moment was I like, oh my
Yeah.
god. So
Like when you die,
It-
you're
it
like,
failed.
oh well.
you were saying something, Vic?
no, about the I would choose Resident Evil because the movies were actually scared me.
Oh, the movie scared you?
Yeah, so I had to choose that franchise because Silent Hill did make a movie, right?
Yeah,
Silent Hill did make
there's
a movie.
2 movies.
I've only watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one.
Oh, really?
Is the second one better than the first one, or is it?
It's all right.
Oh, they're both like on
It's
par.
worth watching. It's
Okay.
entertaining.
The one more scary, Resident Evil or the Silent
No,
Hill?
I'm gonna go with movies. I'm gonna go with the Super Mario Brothers movie. That thing scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, the acting of Street Fighter.
Oh, there's another one: Street Fighter versus Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Or the
We'll do that on some other episode.
or how about that Chun Li
Well,
movie?
that one just doesn't exist, really.
And there was the Dead or Alive movie. Oh god.
Oh yeah, the Dead or Alive. Wow.
Or that
Maybe on the next episode we should talk about video game movies.
Yeah, video game movies, right? Yeah, for real. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. This was episode number 16 of GameX Presents the podcast, which was the Halloween edition. Hopefully, we were able to spook you somehow.
We didn't spook them.
Oh, maybe it'll make you.
But
want
maybe they remembered something that spooked them.
Yeah, if there
And
was,
if any of you guys remembered a game that we didn't mention,
yeah,
then we probably just forget about it. Just let us know, and maybe we'll be like, oh yeah.
exactly. Because I know any underwater level was kind of spooky to me because it's just a claustrophobia. But
When you play underwater levels, do you try holding your breath?
yeah,
Okay, it's not just me. Good.
yeah, especially when you have to go through the tunnel, you're like,
I always hold my breath whenever, be it in a game or a movie. I always hold my breath, and then somewhere in the process, I'm like, "Why am I holding my breath?" Like,
yeah, it's just like one of those things. Like, oh, I wonder if I can hold my breath as much as this character, which is never the case.
as much as this fake character there.
Exactly. But yeah. So maybe there's a game that you enjoyed and it's real spooky because maybe you actually play a lot of spooky games. And tell us if you like the D. So, well, so thank you. This is signing out. This is Equis.
This is Stuff.
And this is Victorino.
Bidding you a good day, good
And a
celebration.
happy Halloween.
Yeah, get candy and send them over to us through our emails.
Don't bother. I'll go to Walgreens.
Well, let's get some donuts. Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
All right. 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 All right.